Hi, I'm Neil Beck. I was a doctor in Perth, Western Australia for 53 years and had 500,000 consultations, home and hospital visits, helped to bring 800 babies into the world, and did many tonsillectomies and appendicectomies and vasectomies, and helped with many broken bones, broken families and broken hearts. The conclusion I came to was that the most important thing in life is mental health. If you are mentally healthy, you'll get everything else you need sooner or later. If you are mentally unhealthy, you may have to go without some very important things. You may never be able to get some of the things that you need and want. And my conclusion was that there have never been any perfect mothers, perfect fathers, perfect families, homes, streets, communities, schools, or countries. So every child has some suffering which causes some mental health disturbance. And the most important thing that any of us can do is to find and fix our mental health problems as early as possible. Early is so important because problems cause more problems that cause more problems. And the easiest time to fix mental health problems is as early as possible. Early mental health problems are comparatively simple, comparatively easy to understand and work out what caused them and to fix them. But when problems have led to problems which have led to more problems, things get very complicated and very difficult and very time consuming to fix. Sadly, it's been usual because of stigma, the stigma of admitting to having a mental health disorder, and because of the cost and delays in getting help, to wait until people crash. And when someone has crashed mentally, it's very, very difficult to help them get completely better again. So start early. And another conclusion I came to was that there was never going to be enough mental health care professionals to help all the people that needed mental health care. And also that mental health problems tended to cause people to get a poor education and to then have poor employment or sometimes unemployment and not very good pay. So the people who most needed help could least afford to pay for it. And even governments couldn't afford to pay for it using the present tools, because the present mental health tools both have great weaknesses. There are only two main tools. The first tool is medicines, and medicines have got two great problems. Firstly, so many of them are addictive. The commonest mental health problem is anxiety, worry, and all the mental health anxiety, worry medicines are addictive. Originally it was barbiturates, and then it was benzodiazepines, Valium, Seropax, Mogadon, etc., all addictive. and also Ambien and Stilnox, also addictive. And nearly all the sleeping medicines are addictive. And the three main attention deficit hyperactivity disorder medicines are addictive. That's Ritalin, dexamphetamine, and Adderall. And the addictiveness of medicines cause all sorts of problems. So that was one great weakness of medicines, addictiveness. And people who take medicine want to take it and get better quickly and then stop taking it. But the people who make medicines want you to take as much medicine as possible for as long as possible. So they make so many of them, as many as they can get away with, addictive. And also medicines are too slow. Most medicines are tablets or capsules, and when you swallow a tablet or a capsule, it takes half an hour to an hour to go right down your gut and start to get absorbed into your bloodstream and start to help you. Half an hour to an hour to start to help you, and 1 to 2 hours to work strongly, which is just too slow for many mental health sufferings and for addiction cravings. So because they're slow, you can't just take them when you need them. You have to take them 1 or 2 or 3 times a day in case you need them. So that greatly increases the amount of medicines the pharmaceutical industry can sell. The other main mental health tool is consultations with a psychologist, a psychiatrist, or a family doctor. But consultations are too slow. It takes too long to talk to someone and find out what their problems are and what caused their problems, and to explain to them how to fix their problems. The other problem with talk therapy is it's too costly. To be a therapist, you need very long training, at least 4 years Bachelor of Psychology, or a longer Master's or PhD of Psychology, and it takes 8 to 10 years to become a psychiatrist. So anybody who's smart enough and spends that length of time becoming a therapist has to be paid well. So because it's slow and because the therapist has to be paid well, talk therapy is too costly. And the people who have mental health problems are often not well off, don't have good, well-paid jobs, and so the cost is a barrier. There are so many people needing mental health help, and it's so costly that not even the government can afford to pay for all the free clinics that are needed. So the free mental health clinics have long waiting lists. So what we're going to do about that? Well, I was a family doctor in the suburbs doing all the things that family doctors used to do, which included a lot of things that specialists now do. And I was interested in who suffered the most and who got the worst treatment. And the people who suffered the most and got the worst treatment were definitely people with mental health problems and addictions. So because I could see that there was never going to be enough mental health care workers for all the people that needed mental health care work, I started to develop new tools that would be would help people to help themselves more, and would help them to start to manage their mental health problems earlier when it's much easier. And I have nearly completed 10 tools, and I can see number 11 tool coming. So the first tools were websites where people could go online and learn about their mental health problems, discover what mental health problems they had and how to help fix them. So I have two websites, Mental Health Videos A-to-Z.com, Mental Health Videos A-to-Z.com, and SmileFixit.com. SmileFixit.com. Mental Health Videos A-to-Z.com had a lot of information on it, and lots of people wanted a shorter website, and SmileFixit.com has everything on it, 1.5 pages, and you can just tap links to whatever you want. You can see very quickly see everything and tap the links to what's important for you. The second tool was videos. There's no faster, better, more convenient, quicker, less costly way to understand mental health problems and mental health treatments than with 1-minute videos. My original videos were 8, 10 or 12 minutes, and I had 31 of them, but people gradually stopped watching longer videos and switched to watching TikTok under a minute type videos. So now I have 83 under a minute videos at SmileFixit.com. The third tool was an app. Because talk therapy is so slow, it was much better to have an app, but apps are a lot of work and very expensive, so I only got my app about 18 months ago, and it's the Mental Fixit app, the Mental Fixit app at SmileFixit.com. The Mental Fixit app asks questions about all aspects of mental health and the causes of poor mental health and the treatments. So you just go to your phone and tap on the App Store or the Google Play icon and download in a few seconds the free Mental Fixit app, and then in 5 minutes or less you can tap your choice of answers to the app questions, and as you tap your choice of answer to the last question, you get an instant report comes up on your phone screen, which gives you 4 things that help you. Firstly, it tells you which 6 of our under a minute videos will help the particular problems that you've tapped the most. You can't watch 83 under a minute videos. You need to know which ones to watch, and you can find that out in just 3 or 4 or 5 minutes by doing the Mental Fixit app. The app checks instant report also tells you which medicines are likely to help you most, and you can then Google those medicines and learn about them before you see your doctor to get a prescription. The third thing it tells you, the incident report tells you, is all of your mental health problems in descending order of importance. Everything you've tapped that is a problem gets a score, which depends on how important that particular problem is and how badly you've got it. And so the very important problems, if you've got them badly, have a score of about 15, and the moderately important or moderate severity problems have a score of 10 or 12, and the milder problems have a score of 3 or 5 or 6. And the fourth thing that the app incident report gives you is a graph of your total score. You do the app often to begin with, perhaps every day, and each time the program adds up all the scores for the items that you've tapped and gives you a total score, and puts that total score in a graph which you see at a glance and tells you whether you are getting better or not. If your graph is getting better, then that's great, you're on the right treatment, keep going. If your graph is only getting better very slowly or not getting better, then your treatment needs to be increased or changed in some way. So that graph is extremely important because it tells you very quickly whether what you're doing is right and is working. The fourth tool is live streaming. So websites, videos, the app, and live streaming, because I found that people love live streaming. TikTok is only about 9 years old, and yet it has over 1 billion visitors each month. Over 1 billion visitors each month to TikTok. And why is that? Well, my ChatGPT and Google searches indicate it's because it's somehow therapeutic. People feel better when they go online and do live streaming or scrolling. It improves their mood, and it also triggers their imagination and their creativity. They learn new things that they didn't know before. When you're scrolling, you can race through so much information that you learn new things, and that is helpful too. And the third thing is that live streaming and scrolling are addictive. So I realized that I have to put my information into live streaming form, and I now do live streaming as often as I can, usually on Wednesday, Friday and Saturday at 7 p.m. Perth time and 9 a.m. Sunday Perth time. And the fifth tool is powder medicines. And why powder medicines? Well, it's because if you drop powder medicine on your tongue and suck it, don't swallow it, and absorb it through your tongue, it starts to work in 5 minutes. When you swallow medicines, they take half an hour to an hour to start working, and 1 to 2 hours to start working, which is too slow for many mental health and addiction situations. But if you drop thousands of grains of tiny grains of powder medicine on your tongue and suck it, it gets into your bloodstream through your tongue and starts working in 5 minutes. your tongue is pink or red because the blood vessels are so near to the surface, and the tiny grains of powder get into the circulation very quickly. And after a couple of weeks you develop taste conditioning, and then the medicine starts to work as soon as you taste it. Your body connects the taste of the medicine with you changing and getting better, as you repeat the powder medicine, you get powder medicine conditioning, and then it starts to work in seconds, and it's working strongly in 5 to 15 minutes, which gives you much better relief from many mental health distresses and from addiction cravings. And the fact that it works so fast means that often you can just take the medicine when you need it. And to facilitate that, I made pocket powder medicine dispensers, put people's medicine in powder form in dispensers, that they have it in their pocket, and anytime, anywhere, when they start to feel the problem starting, they can whiz their dispenser out of their pocket and in seconds take doses of medicine, and with taste conditioning it starts to work in seconds. So they in many situations are able to take their medicine only when they need it, and when you take the medicine as soon as you need it, that tends to weaken it and stop it from getting bad, and then the underlying triggers and electrical and chemical messages that the mental ill health or the addiction result from get weaker and weaker. The seventh tool is a heartbeat meditation aid. Meditation is so important. Everybody should learn to meditate. What is meditation? Meditation is a little holiday from your everyday stresses and strains. It's a little break that you take that refreshes you, calms you, settles you down, and helps you to feel more relaxed, and your brain works better. It gradually is conditioned to being calmer and working better. What you do, how you do meditation, is you focus on something that allows you to forget about everything else for a few minutes. Usually you focus on your breathing, or you focus on repeating a word, and as you focus on your breathing or repeating your word, you take a rest from your problems. But unfortunately, the people who most need to meditate often can't learn to meditate. Their problems are too worrying, too strong, and they can't forget them by focusing on their breathing or their repeating a word. But your heartbeat sound is loud and strong and very attention grabbing. So a few years ago I realized that if I cut my stethoscope short, I could listen to my own heart. That's the hearing part there. You just put the hearing aids in your ears and listen to your heart, and the heartbeats are loud and strong and attention grabbing, and many people can learn to meditate with a heartbeat meditation aid who weren't able to learn by focusing on their breathing or their weren't able to learn to focus on their breathing or their repeating a word. If you email if you email smilefixit.com, they'll send you mental health. They'll send you a heartbeat meditation aid for $25 plus postage. The eighth tool is another powder dispenser, but this is a fruit powder dispenser. One of the great things in human life is taste. From the day we're born till the day we die, we put stuff in our mouth. If we don't put stuff in our mouth, we die. So we put stuff in our mouth. It's one of the great human habits, and we love that stuff to taste good. So taste is one of the great human things. And I realized that we could harness taste to do two very important things. The first thing you can use taste for is to counter the global epidemic of obesity and diabetes. Many years ago, both my grandfathers needed 3,000 to 4,000 calories a day to do all the physical work that they did. One was a farmer and the other was a blacksmith, and they did 60 hours a week, heavy physical work, and needed 3,000 or 4,000 calories. Today, nearly all my family and I earn our living sitting at a desk, and we get obese if we have more than about 1,500 calories a day. So we need to have much less calories each day than humans used to have. But unfortunately, the number of calories we're having is going up and up and up, mainly because sugar, which is high in calories, has become cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. 300 years ago, sugar was costly, and only the wealthy could afford it. But gradually they developed ways to mass produce cane sugar, and today you can walk into a supermarket and buy a big bag of sugar for very little. And people love the taste of sugar. And food and drink manufacturers put as much sugar as possible in as many things as possible. Obviously in sweets and lollies and chocolate, but also in biscuits, cakes, and as many foods and as many drinks as possible, as much sugar as possible, because it costs them so little. And people love the taste, and sugar is addictive. If you do a Google search or a ChatGPT search on the addictiveness of cane sugar, you'll find it's as addictive as some street drugs. So I developed these bigger powder dispensers, which you can fill with your favorite fruit powder, which is very low in sugar and tasty and natural. Fruit powders are becoming more popular all over the world, and you can go online and buy as many different kinds of fruit sugars. My favourites are vanilla and chocolate, and I buy mine from the local Coles supermarket, and each dose is so cheap. A block of chocolate costs you $5 now, and but the fruit powder is much cheaper, and you can take fruit powder every time you think of having a chocolate or confectionery or biscuits or cakes or something. You can have lovely tastes of fruit powder instead, to beat the obesity and diabetes risk. And also lovely tastes can be used to make and break habits. Our brain has so much to do, is so busy that it can't do everything deliberately and consciously. It has to turn as much activities as possible into automatic habits that just happen, so the brain can concentrate on new things and difficult things and things we do infrequently and have to make decisions about. So 60 to 65% of what we do and of what happens in us is automatic, unconscious habits. What happens is that everything that we do or that happens in us happens because of triggers and because of chemical messages that flow in our blood, or electrical messages that flow in our nerves from our brain to the activity area, from our brain to our muscles, or from our eyes to our brain, or from our tongue to our brain, or from our fingers to our brain, or our brain to our fingers. And what happens is the things that we repeat over and over and over again, the triggers and the electrical and chemical messages get stronger and stronger and stronger until they're automatic and unconscious habits. But our life changes. Our life is different in infancy to what it is in childhood, to what it is in adolescence and in adult life and in old age. So our habits have to change, but because the triggers and underlying messages have got strong through repetitions, it's hard to break habits, and it can be hard to make habits. We make habits by doing things over and over and over again, and those habits may not be easy or may not be very enjoyable. For instance, we may decide that we need to develop an exercise habit or a sport habit. Our work used to give us the exercise and the activity that we needed, but now we sit at a desk, and so we need to go and do some exercise or play some sport, and that may not be very easy or may not be much fun at first. So if every time you think about the new habit that you're trying to make, you have a lovely taste, that makes it easier to do that thing. So have your taste powder in your pocket, and every time you think about doing that new habit, have a lovely taste. And every time you do the new habit, have a lovely taste, and it'll get easier and easier for you to do it, and then it will be more and more quickly become a habit. And you can also break habits with lovely tastes. How do you break a habit? You break a habit by weakening its triggers and weakening its underlying electrical and chemical messages. And how do you do that? You do that by delaying and doing less of the habit. When you delay doing a habit, that weakens it. When you do less of a habit, that weakens it, just a little bit. But if you delay it often and do less of it often, it gradually weakens and weakens and weakens the triggers and the habits. So when you think of, or you find yourself starting to do the bad habit that you want to break, you can have a lovely taste of harmless, helpful fruit powder instead, and you focus on the fruit powder taste, the lovely taste, and stop thinking about doing or stop doing the habit that you want to break. And as the taste wears off, you have another taste, and then another taste, and you manage to put off doing the habit you're trying to break for 15 minutes or 20 minutes, and you do a bit less of it. If it's food you eat too much of, you eat a bit less. If it's smoking or drinking too much, you smoke or drink a little bit less, and you delay it, and that weakens the triggers and weakens the habit a little, and you keep on delaying, doing less, and the habit gets weaker and weaker. The triggers and messages get weaker and weaker and weaker, and eventually they're weak, so weak that you can just stop them. You can just quit. Well, many people would say, oh, just quit. If you've got a bad habit, just quit. But it's very hard to do that, and most people relapse fairly quickly. It's much better if you just use some tool that helps you to delay doing the habit and do a little bit less of it, and you delay, do less by having repeated tastes of this fruit powder. The dispensers are not yet available. I've got about 100 which I'm learning with and with some friends, and hopefully we'll have them manufactured in a month or two, and you'll be able to buy them, and they're so cheap that you'll be able to afford to have 3 or 4 so you can have 3 or 4 different taste powders. On Mondays you can have vanilla powder, on Tuesdays you can have raspberry powder, on Wednesday you can have blueberries powder, on you can have ginger powder, whatever powder on different days that you love, and that's a source of pleasure that helps you to cut back on things. For instance, smoking, you can reduce your smoking by about a quarter fairly comfortably over a 1 to 3 week period, and then reduce it another quarter over another 1 to 3 weeks, and over 6, 8, 10 or 12 weeks you can reasonably comfortably reduce, and then quit smoking. Smoking kills 7 million people a year in the world, and for everyone it kills, it kills, it ruins the life of thousands more. I spoke to my cousin yesterday who was having his birthday, and he told me that his wife had died 3 weeks ago of lung cancer. She wasn't a smoker, but she had been married to a heavy smoker for many years, and so even people that don't smoke can suffer from the effects of smoke, which is damaging to the lungs. The 9th tool I call Phone Treasure, and Phone Treasure, things you love to look at or love to listen to on your phone, because you've got your phone in the pocket all the time, and you can use Phone Treasure a bit like you can use taste. When you think of a habit you're trying to make, you get a lovely feeling by whizzing your phone out and looking at something you love on your phone, your children, your grandchildren, your cat, your dog, your flowers, your garden, your new car, your mum, your dad, whoever, or listen to some music or listen to a program, and that helps you to feel good around doing the new habit, and then you can do that new habit more easily, and it becomes a habit more quickly. Or you can use Phone Treasure to delay doing things and do less of them. So Phone Treasure, I started to make Phone Treasure, but then I got so interested in tool number 10 that I have neglected that. And tool number 10 is Scroll Plus. Scroll Plus. Why Scroll Plus? Well, it's because I realized that so many people love live streaming and love scrolling on their phones. Over 1 billion visitors a month to TikTok, mostly scrolling and watching live stream. So I realized I had to make mental health scrollable. When I was a student, my medical textbook, one of my medical textbooks, had 1,200 pages in it. So much information about so many things, and a sick person, only maybe 10 pages of that 1,200 pages was relevant for their particular sickness at that time. With mental health, it seems very complicated, and the Mental Health Bible, which is the DSM-5, has 500 items in it. But I found that there were 11 common items, and most people with mental health problems had 2 or 3 of those common items, so they didn't need to know about all the rest. And information about all the rest just confused them. So now we are just putting up today Scroll Plus, and Scroll Plus is 89 mental health and addiction wants, needs and solutions. 89 solutions, wants and needs, and you can scroll them at smilefixit.com. Do Scroll Plus at smilefixit.com, and you can scroll those 89 items in about 8 minutes. And every time you find one that's important for you, you can just instantly tap on it and watch a 6 to 16 second video that gives you information about it. And if that information is helpful, then you'll soon be able to watch a 1 minute video on it, or do the Mental Fix-It app, which gives you 6 1 minute videos. So a person with mental health problems will be able to go to their phone, tap the App Store or Google Play icon, download the Mental Fix-It app, or do the Scroll Plus in a few minutes, and watch the videos that will help them very quickly. For instance, you might not have problem with attention deficit disorder, you might not have a problem with bipolar disorder, you might not have a problem with but you've got a problem with anxiety, and when you tap the item on anxiety, you instantly see a video which helps you with anxiety. And if that very short video helps you, then you can watch longer videos. and if this system helps you, then you can do the Mental Fix-It app and see the 6 videos, 600-minute videos you can watch in 6 minutes that will help you most. And you can watch them as often as you want. When you see your doctor or your psychologist or your therapist, it takes quite a long time to go through everything, and you can usually only go through things once, and then to go through them again you come back in a week or a fortnight or a month's time. But with videos you can watch them 3 times straight off, or 3 times now and 3 times tomorrow, and once, twice or 5 times the next day. You can just keep watching them quickly as often as you need to until you finally get the information and understand what's going to help you. And yeah, so Scroll Plus, and you don't have to do the whole scroll. You can scroll if you've only got 3 minutes, or if your attention span's very short. You just go tap 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 on Scroll Plus, and as soon as you feel you've done enough, after 3 minutes or 5 minutes or 7 minutes or 10 minutes, you tap the enough button, and when you tap the enough button, it instantly gives you a list of the items that you've tapped which were important. So you know all the items up to that point which are important, and the next day, or when you repeat the scroll, you do that again, and then any item that is not important for you, so you don't tap its video twice in 2 successive scrolls, it deletes or it hides, and then you've got time to go further to watch more new app items, more new Scroll Plus items. So even if you can only scroll for 3 or 4 or 5 minutes, in a few sessions you've scrolled the whole lot, you've seen the whole lot, and every time you scroll again you see what's important to you, and you see the videos that are important to you. Well, I hope that's been helpful. Thank you for watching. Today is Sunday. I should be back here again on Wednesday, Friday and Saturday at 7 p.m. Perth time, and again Sunday at 9 a.m. Perth time for more live streaming. If you've got any comments, questions or criticisms, please send them to me through the platform that you watch, or email me. I always respond to emails. I don't have time to talk to people, but I have time to respond to emails, and the email address is healthestuff@gmail.com, healthestuff@gmail.com, which you can find at smilefixit.com. Thank you for watching. Bye.